And welcome back, neighbors, to the Future Neighbor Podcast. This is Daniel.
And this is Katie. It's been a while.
It sure has been.
The last time was in January and now it's April.
I know, that's so bad. The table that we record to do this podcast has been collecting dust, and so that is not a good KPI, Katie. We got to get back on the mic.
Yes.
So we did just get back from the States. It's been about a week or two.
Yeah.
And so today we wanted to kind of share some of our thoughts and reflections from that trip. You know, when you go abroad, you're able to kind of get away from the busyness of your daily life, and you're able to think, or maybe you're able to turn off your functional mind, and you have like the space to think about other things.
Yeah.
We'll run through some of those, as well as some updates about our baby girl and seeing how she's doing in the tummy. Oh
yes. By the way, it's a girl.
Oh, we haven't said that?
Not in our podcast, I think.
Oh yeah, because we didn't even talk about the Japan trip and how we
did the gender reveal.
Neighbors, I feel like we're long.
We have a lot to catch up on.
Yeah, it's like long friends that we haven't talked for so long. And
yeah.
So, all right, so
We've got an interesting podcast coming. So
well, hopefully it's interesting. Maybe it's just interesting to us because it's our lives, but hopefully we can
hang on tight.
Yeah. This episode is brought to you by Gochujar. There's so many stuff in the pipeline. So if you haven't been to Gochujar in a while, go gochujar.com. If you're not based in the US, go to globalgochujar.com. I'll just leave it at that. Well, let's get into our discussions.
Very short and sweet.
That's right. So Katie, what do you want to talk about first?
Shall we talk about our Japan trip?
Oh, before we went to the States?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
it was like our kind of first pregnancy trip.
It was your pregnancy trip. We ate some sushi. Now, I know we put like some post onto our Instagram and people were like, "Oh my God, Katie's pregnant, but you're having sushi. You got to be careful." Guys, the quality of sushi in Japan is like, it's
different.
Yeah, it's beyond worry. So it's fine. I think it's like the similar thing where a lot of people that haven't lived in Asia or haven't lived in Japan or Korea specifically, like when I was living in the US, people would say, "Oh, you got to cook the egg yolk because you can get risk of some disease." Was it salmonella or something? I forget.
Oh.
But that's not the case here. It's pretty good.
The egg in US tastes different. They don't taste as good as the eggs in Korea or Japan, I realized this time. So it's not gosue, and then the yolk is not
savory?
it doesn't taste the same. But bacon definitely tastes better.
Oh, bacon
in the
is
US.
so much better in the US. I forgot how good bacon tastes because we've been used to this like flimsy,
like really thin.
It's so terrible. Bacon in Korea is so terrible. Like we don't know how to.
That's
do it
one
yet.
thing I miss.
Like the thing, well, it's because like most Koreans get their fill of pork through Korean barbecue, and so no one eats bacon in the morning, right? In Korea, that's not part of our like.
I mean, it's not our
breakfast.
Yeah, it's like the Western thing.
Yeah, and nobody complains about it, so I guess the manufacturers don't care to improve it. Unless
but remember, I know we are like diverging, but. The first thing I was craving when I arrived in America was this like very American diner breakfast, and I was craving that like crispy kind of looks burnt bacon.
Crispy bacon.
Yeah, so much, and then like I had it and it was like so good.
Yeah, but the portions were so huge. We went to this mom and pop diner. I forget what it was called. It's called
Arthur's Coffee Shop.
Yeah, and it was really nice because it was like an all-American diner, and but it doesn't have like that like IHOP or Denny's like chain feel. It's very mom and pop style. And so, but the portions were huge, right?
Wow, and so buttery, and oh my gosh, I felt so full afterwards to the point that I didn't have to have lunch or almost till dinner. I was like kind of full.
Oh, Katie, now I just remember. Shall we do the
I know what you remember.
So, and for you, like, how would you like your eggs done? Exactly.
No, like you have to give more context.
Yeah, like Katie was, we were ordering, and like for some strange reason, like Katie and I Actually, it's not for substitute. I usually just order, right? Because
Yeah. But this time I was like, I want to order more.
no, actually, you know where that comes from in Korea? The guy usually just orders for the whole table. Like one person generally orders for everything.
You're right.
Like, oh, we're going to have like 3 of this and 2 of this. And then it's just group eating. Right?
Yeah. Like the waitress doesn't need to know what each person is having.
Exactly.
Basically.
Exactly. And so I think you were still in that mode.
Yeah.
And
totally.
So, and like I was like, yeah, I'll take the, let's just say the Denver omelet. Then I was just answering. And then she kind of looked at you.
And she's like, what about for you? And then I was like, yeah, I went for this menu. And then she's like, so how would you like your eggs cooked? And then my mind was like dumbfounded.
It's like you asked her a calculus question. Her brain didn't know how to process
It wasn't
that.
what I was expecting. It was such a long time ago that I was in the US that I completely forgot.
The style of eggs, right?
Yeah, and I just couldn't think of the English word either. So my mind went blank, and then your mom was sitting in front of me.
She's like, oh,
I was feeling a bit embarrassed, and I like just looking at the menu. It's just like 2 minutes, not 2 minutes, 2 seconds silence, and then you were like, "Oh, you like it over easy?" Or you came in for my help.
The lady was confused too because you answered the first part of her question with such like native English, and all of a sudden like the follow-up question you kind of 고장났어. You broke. The Katie broke.
I broke.
Yeah, the battery fell out. So you just stopped in mid-sentence and looked at me with like, can you help me?
Oh, I remember. And then you gave me the scrambled option. And I'm like, I don't even want scrambled, but that's like the only thing that comes to my mind. So I was like, yeah, scrambled, please.
And then after you order scrambled, you're like, wait a minute, what kind of eggs were there? Were there over easy, sunny side up? And
yeah. I usually like sunny side up, but for that day, I had to have scrambled.
And I also forgot that in like American restaurants, if you order a coffee, they'll give you like free refills.
That was amazing.
I forgot about that. And
That's
the cups
so
were huge because in Korea, they don't.
And
give
then
you
they
that
also
much.
keep refilling your water too, not just coffee.
And also for tea, it's like you just order tea, and then they give you like 6 different varieties that you can just pull a tea bag from.
Yeah,
Whereas
that was also very different.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
And they're so friendly.
Yeah, personalized service.
Yeah.
Definitely. It looks like we just skipped over Japan. That's great. Guys, we didn't spend a dime on Japan. We went straight into US trip. If you think of Japan, we can come back. But speaking of like forgetting about like, my brain still being in Korea, I like remember how much of a foodie my mom is and how much I love food.
Yeah, I think you got the DNA from her.
Definitely. Because whenever we go to a supermarket, my mom would be like, let's try this out. Or if like we're walking out of a supermarket and then there's like a little food stuff, she's like, let's go try this out. Like, 오징어 튀김, she'll like just rip it out of the package and have a few and be like, don't worry, we'll pay at the counter, blah, blah, blah.
She has so much food in her pantry.
Oh my gosh. My mom like.
And your dad doesn't even eat it because he's vegetarian.
Yeah. Okay.
It's all for your mom.
Actually,
it's so like a 2-person house, but pantry is like for like 5 people family.
Okay, before I forget, just remember, remind me to talk about the McDonald's. But now my mind is really going on a different tangent.
Okay.
Because the thing is, like when we were growing up as a middle class family, my mom, she fell in love with the idea of Costco. The fact that you can buy like bulk goods, and of course, like it's so much value for money. And so it's been long since me and my sister moved out, and it's me and my vegetarian dad. But my mom still, like, to her, she needs to shop at Costco. And about half or maybe 75% of all those bulk foods that she buy, all those shipments get thrown out.
Yeah.
And like, for a good example, my mom has that Keurig
coffee machine. Yeah.
And she opened up the pantry and you were like flabbergasted because she had like 2 Kirkland signature like full king-sized boxes of those Americano or drip capsules.
Yeah.
And
that's gonna last her for like a year.
More like 10 years. And my dad doesn't even drink coffee. And my mom's like, okay, don't worry. I'll grab you one. And she opens another box of another flavor.
Yeah.
Which has like 200 things.
I was amazed.
Yeah. And like...
it's like way too much food and way too much like
Yeah, and I opened up the refrigerator, and my parents don't like cheese, and I've never seen them eat a grilled cheese sandwich. Yet my mom had like a Kraft Singles like sliced cheeses, which had like a 200 pack, and she eats like one maybe once every 2 months. Good thing that American slice doesn't rot quickly. But anyway, I think you guys get the point. Maybe your parents are like that.
Yeah, but I think she also just naturally has in Korea we say 큰 손, big hand.
Yeah, my mom has big hand.
Yeah.
And we had that interesting talk. I was like, Mom, I think it's really about time that you consider shopping at Trader Joe's or like a smaller store like Albertsons or wherever, and just get smaller.
Yeah, there's less quantity.
And then I was shocked because my mom's like, logically, I know what you're saying is right, but it's hard to break habit. And I just feel like I'm wasting money if I'm not buying.
Or you feel like getting ripped off.
Oh, I'm getting ripped off because if I'm at Trader Joe's, I know they're going to give me like an extra, like 30 ounces of peanuts in a jar if I go there for $2 more. But I understand what she's saying.
Yeah, that was very interesting and funny. No, but also like we also saw the difference because in Korea it costs money to throw out waste. Basically, right?
Yeah.
So in order to throw out waste, we need to buy the waste bin, like specifically made for throwing out waste, and then you have to throw it out on a certain day or whatever. But in America, you can just throw it out in whatever kind of container.
Food waste goes into like it goes into the general, the gray container, whatever that one is.
Yeah, you just dump everything in and then just like they'll take it away. Less things to worry about when you throw away stuff.
For people who don't know, in Korea, like you have to like let's say you have a piece of chocolate or no, even better. Let's say you have one of those anchovy kelp broth bags and you're making broth, right? After you finish with that broth bag, you can't just toss that into the garbage. You have to open up the tea bag, then you have to empty out all of the used anchovy and kelp pieces, which is really cumbersome.
Like food waste.
Into a food waste. And then you have to go downstairs because most likely if you're living in Korea, you're living in an apartment or whatever complex you're living in. And then they have an automated, centralized food disposer container. These are huge. And you go there, you place your key tag, and then it charges you by the weight of how much food waste you're doing. So that's why my mom, I think we might have said this, but when my mom came to Korea, she bought a watermelon, and then I told my mom, go throw it out of the thing, go try it out. And then she's like, I had to pay $2 to throw out the watermelon ends. And she's like, oh my gosh, that pisses me off. And I'm like, she's like, I'm not gonna eat fruit here. But I actually saw a documentary on YouTube that said back. Don't quote me on the exact percentages, but it was like some ridiculous number when Korea was developing about the percentage of food waste, which maybe it was like in the high 60s or 75% of food was getting wasted, blah, 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 blah. But through this government mandated system, Korea now is less than 5% food waste. People are consuming the food because they have to pay for it if they want to throw it away. So it was like using it as a role model system that many smaller countries should strive to go to. So and now I understand it and I actually respect it.
Yeah, and they also recycle the food waste for like...
feed, livestock feed and manure. And back to this random tangent. So now my mom dropped me off at work if you want to use the car. And so I was like, yeah, of course. And so I was dropping off at my dad's place. And all of a sudden on the way, she's like, I'm craving some Big Morning. He's like, McDonald's Big Morning. And I was like, what? Really? And I was full. Like every time I go to the States, it's a struggle because we have to eat breakfast. And normally in Korea, we don't eat breakfast. We just have 2 meals a day. So I'm already stuffed.
Yeah.
And so I'm not craving anything. It's almost like you have to build in like a walks or some sort of activity so we can build up hunger in the States, right? Or an appetite. And so I was like, no, I don't want any, but Mom, you can, I'll order for you. Don't worry. So I went up to the drive-through and I was like, because I know my mom liked the sausage McMorning. So I was like, hi, can I get a sausage McMorning set? She's like, huh? I was like, yeah, can I please get the number 2, the sausage McMorning set? She's like, okay. The total came out to like $17 or $18. And I was like, what? was like, there's no way a sausage McMorning set costs. It's like, has the world gone crazy? There's no way that costs that much. No way. No way. And so like I looked up to it and she had like itemized like 2 sausage McMuffin. And I was like, lady, I want number 2. What's on the picture? I just want that. And the set, because I want the coffee. And she's like, okay. And then she understood and she was still confused. Drove up to the window and she's like, sir, this is called a meal, not a set. And I was like, oh, you're right. I forgot, because in Korea, we call it like, if you just want, we call it's the Konglish. We call it set, number 2 set.
You became too Koreanized now.
Yeah. And so actually what she was thinking was that there was like a like buy one get one free like set deal. So she thought I wanted like whatever. Yeah. And then anyway, that's how it came out. And so my mom looked at me and she's like, man, I can't even rely on you now to order some McDonald's. You've gone full Korean.
Yeah.
After being in the States, like there's a lot of stuff that I started to think about, of course, but one of the things that I think I came back this time and I told your mom was that like I kind of see my mom and my dad now as if like they seem younger to me, or they seem like
old.
Yeah, they seem old now. Like they don't seem like these invisible parents.
They're grandparents now.
Yeah,
because now you have a niece too.
Yeah. But like there's the title grandparents, and then there's like the feeling. Wow, these are grandparents now. And so for me, like I felt that my parents are getting old, and so now whatever they kind of like things that they used to say to me, which usually bothered me, or maybe like I hate the word triggered, but made me like have a response to something. It like I don't have a response to it anymore. It's just like I just realized these are my parents. They're old, and like this is just the way they think, and it's fine. And like just less of an emotional response to anything that I previously would have made me very like got me very hyped up. Yeah, I just see them as like, oh, my dad, and like
that also means you're growing up, like you're more mature.
Yeah, I definitely felt that this time.
Yeah. And also your dad was also saying himself that feels like his energy level is kind of getting lower and lower.
Yeah.
So like he wouldn't really want to do like long hour trips.
Yeah. Which
rather just stay at home and just spend time together and just at home or just in the vicinity.
But he's always been like that. We talked about this on our walks, that like it's funny when we were maybe even 5 or 7 years ago, like in our 20s, like we thought like being a good son or good children would be like treating our parents out to have the same experiences that stimulate us.
Yeah, or like take them out to like,
a trip abroad.
Yeah, or different experience, or like some really exotic restaurants, or some like kind of all these thinking or expectations that sound fun and interesting in our level.
Yeah.
But it's like completely not true for them.
I don't think this is the case for all parents. Like, for example, it applies less to my mom than it does to my dad. But oftentimes, and your mom as well, like, of course it's cumbersome to take your parents to things that, that would be exciting for us because, that's just the way it is. But I realized that more times than not, it's very uncomfortable for them too. And like, they don't appreciate it as much as you thought they would. For example, if we took my dad to, let's say, Morocco, for example, the whole trip, I think
the idea of that trip just stresses him.
Yeah, well, yeah. And from our firsthand experience, we witnessed actually going through the trip, it's very like hard and like it's not enjoyable. And then like it's just not worth it. So
yeah. I mean, I think it's also partially because of your dad's character, not because he's old. I'm like you said, maybe there are some parents who just like enjoy trips and stuff because they that like they're very used to it, or
Yeah.
even in the younger days they did a lot of trips like here and there.
Yeah.
But I think like for this time too, we were like kind of considering to do like a day or two trip to like, I don't know, Malibu or something like that.
Yeah.
But we actually ended up not doing it. But I think it was a better decision not to, because
Yeah.
they actually appreciate. It doesn't matter for
Familiarity and
them.
comfort.
Yeah, it doesn't matter for them that we take them to somewhere different, wherever.
Yeah.
It's just like quality time spent
Yeah.
together. It's what matters to them.
That's the point I realize, is that like what we think is like treating someone out,
Yeah.
to my parents, that's not their definition.
Mm.
And so me wanting to feel good about being a good son, or that's my definition of being a good son. But
Or it's for you to
but
feel
for my parents,
satisfied.
yeah. But for my parents, that's not their definition of being treated out, is taking a trip.
Yeah.
And so there's that mismatch, and I start to realize that like the efforts, there's no need to do that. Like, and so, but my mom's different. My mom wants to travel. So
yeah, your mom is a little bit more outgoing and like
Oh, yeah.
definitely
she
extrovert.
kept trying to convince me that she was going to drive to Cancun. So my mom, I don't know why, her friends, maybe they're talking about some trip to Cancun. I was like, so sorry, but I was like, Mom, do you know? I was like, Mom, I think I've been to Cancun, but I remember I flew out from Florida. This was from Miami. And she's like, what are you talking about? My friend, one of them drives really well, and we're going to just drive there. And I was like, Mom.
All the way from California.
I was like, I'm pretty sure it's not Tijuana. It's not like right south of San Diego. Like, it's really far. And then I Googled it, and I showed her it's like closer to continental, like Florida, than it is California. And she's like, oh, I didn't know. Like, that guy must be a good driver. I don't know. I still think we're driving. I was like, no, you're not. I don't think anyone in your friend group realizes where Cancun is. You better take a flight.
But she's having her time of her life right now, you know, going golfing and golf trips. And
I feel like women do a lot better in their later lives than men.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I noticed, like, at least, like, amongst my friends and their parents.
Yeah.
So we also spent a lot of time with your niece, 3-year-old niece, and kind of got a taste, kind of close to a taste of what it feels like to have a kid in the house.
Yeah.
How did you feel? We went to some play. What is it? Those play
cafes or play centers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like maybe 2 times with her, and then.
I mean, of course, it's very tiring.
You're really good with kids.
I think you're good with kids too. Yeah, it's tiring. It gets tiring. It's like, actually, but if it's your kid, like, I don't know. I don't even think it's worth saying it's tiring. Of course, it's like, raising a dog is tiring, but you love it and it's yours. So,
but
like,
it felt so. I feel like I could, there's like a problem with low birth rate in Korea.
Yeah.
But when I went to America, I could totally see it's like the opposite. Like, like your friends are like having kids and they're pregnant, and like there's another friend who's like pregnant kind of at the same time with me.
Yeah.
So I feel like in Korea, I feel kind of like an outlier somehow, because none of my friends are like either married or pregnant. But like when we went to America, I feel like, oh, there's so much like, I don't know what to say, camaraderie. I don't know, people in the same situation as you.
Yeah.
So like there's a lot of like shared kind
excitement
of excitement or things to talk about. That was really nice.
Yeah. Man, if we had our kids in the States and we grew up even in Orange County, it'd be pretty fun too.
Yeah. Like I can already see, because like yeah, it's right now is the season to have kids, right?
It seems like it, right?
Yeah, like but amongst your group of friends.
Yeah, it's also because my group of friends were all like in that, now it's that phase.
Yeah.
So actually the reason why I went to the States was because of my friend's wedding. He was one of the last of my friends to get wedded. I had to go and I do a speech.
Yeah, that was a big thing.
Yeah, that was fun.
I mean, that was the whole point of why we decided to go this time
That's right. That's
to
right.
the US.
Yeah. Actually, the speeches, I don't know. I don't want to talk too much personal stuff, so probably skip over it. But it was fun. I really enjoyed that wedding. Like,
American weddings are so fun. I wish I could go to more, but it seems like this is it now.
yeah, yeah.
There's no more.
I'm actually happy that's it. This is it. I don't want to go to fly to anywhere for any more weddings.
Yeah.
I don't have any more close enough friends that I would fly out for.
Yeah, everybody's now
Wedded or permanently single.
Yeah, I think so.
um,
It's so ironic because when we got to America,
oh my gosh.
it was raining and like
it snowed in Orange County for the first time, I think.
Yeah.
So we brought the snow kitty.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, the funny thing is, like, strangely, our like my parents' house, like, my room, or what used to be my room, the majority of it gets such good sunlight, and especially our backyard. It's an old home, and our backyard is huge. Our backyard is huge, and so all of that gets beautiful sunlight. But my
all the
room,
trees and flowers are flourishing.
yeah. And so when Katie and I go to America, we stay in my room. But that thing is a refrigerator.
That is the north side of America. It's so cold. It's so ironic to say it, but it felt colder than in Korea.
Yeah, we were like, yes, we can go to California for some sunshine, but we were shivering more in my room, and we had to get like those space heaters, put it on, and apparently my dad said the heater broke. So
yeah, I missed the Korean 온돌 system.
yeah,
The floor was so cold too.
yeah, and then we actually decided to do a baby shower as well. We were going back and forth about the idea, but I was like, you know what, like, this might be the last time I'm going to spend some time with some of my friends from my formative years. So why not throw a party, invite all of them, and celebrate and get showered.
But apparently baby showers like usually like it happens with the girls' friends.
Oh, like your girlfriends would put something for you? Yeah.
Or like I don't know if guys are even there. I've never been to
there
a
are.
baby shower, so
There
I
are.
don't know. But
It can
it
be
like centers around the pregnant women's and her like own friends, isn't it?
yeah, but I don't really think about these things too much because like the way that we lived our lives, just take our wedding for example, like we planned to invite all of our friends, COVID happened and we just had to go with the flow.
Yeah.
So, I don't think we need to like and I try to tell other people too that like tradition is there as like a framework or like something you could like reference, but you don't need to stick to the script and stress out that it's not exactly what tradition like has been. Right?
No, I'm really happy with how it turned out.
Oh, it was fun.
Yeah.
It was so much fun.
Yeah, and then like I had some reservations about doing it initially, but then like I'm really glad that we did it.
Yeah.
We used their backyard as the venue, just invited like
we have these beautiful lemon trees.
Yeah.
And we just saw like the color yellow. We're like, wow, let's just do like a monochromatic theme. I feel like a little party designer. Monochromatic theme. And the thing was like my dad, he put up this painter's tarp because he wanted to like practice golf like every other Korean dad or grandpa. And that painter's tarp, when he like practices his swing, it catches the ball there. And so looked at the backdrop and I was like, that would be a pretty good place to like take photos and like use as a backdrop for our wedding. And so that kind of concept came right then.
Yeah.
And then my mom had bought my niece a tricycle kind of thing. And I was like, this is like really good looking.
It's so cute.
And when we just see those three objects together, I was like, I think we have the theme. And so we went with this like kind of like yellow lemonade backyard theme. And and strangely enough, my dad also had this huge like sun tent which he wanted to use because it gets so hot and for my niece to swim in the backyard. So we stretched that out, spent like 30 minutes like spraying that thing with water. And I don't know how many thousands of spiders came down and but got that cleaned up. And it was a beautiful thing. Like I think that also scratched my itch of like kind of like missing that I couldn't celebrate our wedding with my close friends, and so but somehow like having them all there.
Yeah, it made up for it.
Yeah,
I
it was
think.
kind of like a part two.
It was
of our,
very special day, I think.
Yeah, we bought a little piñata. Oh, it was fun. You know, I actually enjoyed the setup process of that too, because we went to like in La Habra, we went to some of like the local Mexican shops.
Party.
Oh yeah, we went to Party City too, but we first went to the Mexican shops,
Yeah.
and then like because Mexicans know how to party, they party all the time, and so like especially in our neighborhood, and so they had like a place where you could rent chairs and tables, and it was interesting because like the tables and how much did they rent us the tables for like 20,
The tables,
like $1 or something each? Oh, no,
I mean
chairs was like $1.
Less than $1. They were like 70 cents.
Yeah, which is crazy. And then the tables
were like maybe $10. Pretty cheap too.
Yeah. And then where they get you is that like since the tables are like, you know, they have it's just like the plastic ones. And so like they charge you for the table covers. Because we're like, okay, we definitely need these covered. And they were charging $25 for the linen.
Cover was
the
expensive.
table linen, $25. So I was like, oh, that's what their business model is. And so
we rented them.
But I was happy we visited because like for some strange reason I was like, we need to have a piñata there. Like I've always wanted to break open a piñata like at a thing.
I didn't even know what a piñata was, but we bought a huge one.
It was funny, right? Even though there was
fun.
kind of like a event or like a kind of episode related to that, which we won't mention, but
it was fun.
It was very eventful, right?
Yeah. And we bought some Play-Doh and like asked people to not draw, but like make
what our future baby would look
like. It
was kind of whimsical, but
people were really good.
They were into it, and then wow, I was really happy that they like put some effort into it because it was hilarious.
Yeah, it was hilarious, and like the outputs were like pretty like beyond what I had expected.
I thought people would just half-ass it and be like, "Hey, here's the face and this and that," but they like really went out. Yeah. One person did the whole full body, and I was like explaining it, so we had a good time with that. Funny. And then yeah, and I also like that we gave out the lotto or the scratch lottos.
Yeah,
we had one small,
that was a good idea.
Winner actually.
Yeah, she won like $15 or something.
Yeah, I didn't even know you could win that small amount. So overall, it was great. Yeah, it was great.
Yeah, and I felt like it's so much easier to set up those kind of parties in America.
It is.
Like, I imagine doing the similar thing in Korea. Like, I don't even know where I would rent those things. And like, that party, what is this shop called? Party People?
Party People. No,
Party City.
Party City.
That Party City shop is like amazing. I wish we had like something like that in Korea. Like,
yeah,
when you go in there, the amount of like accessories and all the decorations they have, it's like beyond what I could imagine. Like we spent hours there, and when I got out of that shop, I felt exhausted.
Yeah.
And like all the balloons, different colors, different sizes.
So what's interesting about Party City is that has always been there, but like even when I was in, let's say, junior high, that Party City has always been in there on Imperial Highway. But strangely, they changed up their business model. So what was so interesting to me is in the front of the shop was all balloons. And so I used to say, like, you know, when we think about like business models or like just like talk about this kind of stuff with my friends, like, man, there's nothing better than 물장사, which is like a business where you're selling water, basically Starbucks or any coffee shop, right? Because the margins are so high. Yeah. And then I came across Party City and I was like, why are there so many balloons on the wall right behind the cashiers? And then they're selling helium and it was expensive. Okay.
Never knew how expensive it is to like inflate a balloon.
Yeah, there's like the regular balloons, you know, the regular size balloons, but then, you know, for like graduation or like you're having
24
an event.
inch.
Oh, that's right.
Ones.
You remember the
yeah, how can I forget?
There's 24-inch balloons, and just buying one of that costs $7.
Yeah.
And then $7.50 to inflate it. So a total of $15.50, which is close to 2만 won in Korea.
Just for a balloon.
One balloon. And you might think that's crazy.
I was shocked.
But then I was thinking, okay, since we had this yellow monochromatic thing, we need like a highlight. See, I'm good with design. I'm gonna tell you right now, guys. I'm good with design. Katie's more on the programming side. She ain't gonna give you much help. She gonna give you okay.
Okay, I'm
good.
gonna have to admit it.
Yeah.
You have better like design eyes.
So I was like, we need like 1 or 2 balloons just to make this look festive and like bring out that yellow concept.
But when we first heard
Physically.
the price, we were like, let's drop the balloons. It's not worth it. And we actually went home without the balloons, like just small balloons, right? Where
Yeah.
you can just blow with air or whatever. And then we had to go back.
Yeah, we had to go back. But yeah, anyway, I was amazed. Oh yeah, anyway, what I was trying to say was like, yeah, you can buy those small helium tanks, but that I think is like that could barely. I think that could fill up like one of those huge balloons,
Yeah.
like helium. So yeah, we spent like maybe like I think close to over $60 in just
Yeah.
inflating balloons.
Yeah.
And then I was like, man, inflation's a bitch. But yeah, wow, it creeps up. Yeah. And what better business is there than selling air? And I was like, man, I think this concept could fly in Korea, except nobody has parties here. Or nobody like, or the idea. No, we party. We party, but we don't party in the sense of like partying at home where you
like
DIY
more like cozy
decorations.
style. No,
You don't do DIY
People
decorations.
just go to hotels or rent a hotel room and then
The concept of baby shower is here in Korea, but it's more of like girls renting out like maybe like a hotel room, and then they'll bring
get some
expensive
room service.
Yeah, bring some expensive meals and
Yeah.
like get pampered, and then take pictures on Instagram, and that's it.
Honestly, I've never seen a balloon that big of a size.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that's like so common in America, right? That's like
Yeah, because a lot of
basic
people
setup, basically.
Yeah, especially in California, because people don't. There's not like a downtown in a lot of Orange County.
Yeah.
Outside of the city, in the suburbs, you play at people's houses, and so you decorate and like set up.
And I really like that we did all that like DIY. We went like picked up our food. We ordered like some Mexican food
Oh, was that not good, guys?
for catering.
If you live in
and-
Orange County, Taco Nazo. Yeah.
Yeah, that was really good.
Oh man, Taco Nazo is so good.
Mm.
Taco Nazo, I don't know. I think they must have changed ownership, but the one where near our house, I used to be a big fan of it. I went back like 2 years ago and had it. I was like, this is terrible. But then strange reason, I was like, I want to try it again. But this time, again, I think it's change management. It was delicious.
It was
So-
good.
Right after we had it, we like talked to the lady, and I was like, I want to use you guys for catering. Like, she's like, sure. We have. I thought they were going to just take the order. Like, no, you got to go to www.taconazo.com.
Yeah, they have a site for it.
Yeah, I feel like we're giving free endorsements. Whatever, it's good.
Yeah, and they were like all prepped on time.
Yeah.
So we went and just picked up our food and then, kind
had
of
some
had a buffet style.
Yeah, we had some ceviche as well.
Yeah.
Shrimp ceviche, and then the fish tacos and shrimp tacos. Then we also had some of those cupcakes.
Yeah, cupcakes.
Yeah.
Oh, those cupcakes were really good.
Yeah, I'm happy we
From
did
time
that.
to time.
I want to print out that group photo of us in the backyard, that final photo, and put that up into our house as well. It's good memories.
That's a very beautiful photo, I think.
Yeah.
It's just my stomach is not that noticeable at that time. So
Yeah. Man. So I got to see one of my best friends get married, and then also one of my other good friends that turned into a priest. He came down and I was able to catch up with him, and
you made him dance,
oh yeah, I got into dance, and
dance floor, and
yeah, it was all, I caught up with him afterwards too, and it was just good to see and hear about like the struggles of being in the religious life, and like being a priest in modern days, and like it's always interesting to hear. But anyway, those are private conversations, so of course I wouldn't share that here. But we also went to Joshua Tree.
oh yeah.
So how did you like Joshua
was
Tree,
Such a memorable
Katie?
trip. Oh, I really like it. I just got amazed at how vast it is. Like
Right.
it's not like some park that you will see in Korea. It's like you have to drive hours and hours like in order to like go to the other side of the park.
I
and
feel like
then-
Joshua Tree is pretty repetitive. Like you'll see, it's like like the terrain itself doesn't change too much. It's like
Yeah.
formations of rocks and these Joshua Tree. For some reason, like I've gone to all these national parks when I was young with my parents. I don't remember a single one of them, except for Grand Canyon. I remember distinctly. But like we went to Yellowstone as well. We've been to Joshua Tree, but like I don't
You
remember
did?
it. Yeah, I've been,
Oh.
but I just don't remember because I was probably busy playing Game Boy or something and just not understanding like where I'm going. But
I
now
love it. I loved it because it's so different. Like it's a national park, but there are no trees. I mean, there is Joshua Tree.
There's Joshua
Yeah.
trees everywhere.
Yeah,
What was on your
no,
mind?
but it's not like
Your
those
pregnancy
green
fog?
trees, green forest.
It's desert. It's
Yeah,
desert.
It's
yeah.
desert.
Yeah.
So it's like perfect for climbers like you.
Yeah, there's all these like formations, and I was like, I was so tempted because I saw so many people doing crack climbing, like just doing like, just like lead climbing, and I could see that if I lived in California or like went back home to the Orange County, I would be in Joshua Tree so many weekends out of the year, just like climbing there. And
I don't know. It's just like maybe 2 hours drive from your house, but it just felt like, I don't know, completely different city, like
yeah,
like different country, like you're like completely like break away from your daily life basically.
yeah,
And like at nighttime we
Saw the stars.
saw the stars.
Yeah.
The sky was so clear and it just felt really like peaceful and calm.
yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
love it.
That's why I actually really appreciate a lot of my friends from my childhood. I say this a lot to them, but like friends from your formative years, there's like a sense of comfort and sense of like, just this level of comfort that you don't get with friends that you meet later in your life. But I still strive to keep meeting new friends because every new like relationship brings new energy, new
Yeah.
thoughts. But just somehow when you meet your like,
It's also because you don't see them that often.
I think so.
Yeah, you
yeah.
only see them every like 2 years, 3 years.
Yeah.
So
But
it
we get so
feels-
rambunctious together because it's so like we have no pretense around each other because we knew each other when none of us were doctors, when none of us did anything, when none of us were X, Y, or Z.
Nobody.
Yeah, we're just little kids.
Yeah.
Like and then so we bring out the little kids in each other when we see each other, and so I always enjoy that. Yeah, and when one tries to be too cool, we're like, "Hey, come on now, don't you remember the old days?" And how did you feel during the trip with the pregnancy? Like,
Oh, I felt really good because like first trimester I had really bad nausea and morning sickness, but
Yeah.
like by the time like we were in America, I was all over it and I could eat everything and I had my appetite, and strangely this time around, like I don't know if it's strange, but like I really realized like how good Mexican food tastes.
yes, finally,
I
she's
developed
converted,
like
y'all.
I developed the taste of love for tacos and burritos and
Oh
like
my gosh,
even
I
more
love
than
it.
you. So like
I
I think the
love it.
second day we had a shrimp burrito. And I love it so much. Like I want to go back the next day.
Yes.
But then by that time you were like, I can't take burritos right now. My stomach is not like digested.
yeah, like, yeah,
Yeah, so I was craving burritos more than you were, and
yeah, I loved it.
I think also my taste palette kind of changed because of
You've been
pregnancy.
Oh, really?
Somehow, yeah, because remember like in the past I never really enjoyed Mexican food that much because
Yeah.
of
Cilantro?
cilantro, but I don't know. This time it was like
I'm telling you,
I'm
Katie,
having a new type of food.
there is this index, I forget, but they rate foods about how many times it takes, or how many times, parentheses, exposure it takes for you to tolerate it. Actually, I think Mexican food should be pretty low on the list. It's pretty good.
It's pretty
but it's kind of like
good, but
cilantro.
somehow like
For people who are young, like, for example...
but I still feel like not 100% with those
cilantro?
No, the
Corn tortilla?
yeah,
Oh,
corn
you-
tortilla.
Yeah, you like flour tortilla.
Yeah, but then corn tortilla is the original apparently.
Yeah.
But I still don't. I still prefer flour
Yeah.
versus corn. But other than that, like now I get why you're always singing Mexican food here in Korea.
You crave it. It's so good.
No, but it's
So
not
good.
the same here.
Yeah. But I realized that after going to the States and having Mexican food after not having a proper one in like years, like it shuts down my system. Like I don't know, maybe it's the beans. I don't know. We always like kind of like teased Mexican food because beans make you fart when you're young. I don't even know if it's the beans, but something in the Mexican food, as soon as it enters my Korean digestion system, it just stops. Like digestion stops. I don't know why. I'm still trying to figure out what that ingredient is. Maybe it is the tortilla or the lard in the
Yeah, I
tortilla.
think we're not really used to it.
Yeah.
So like,
But then after the
it's
end of
not
3
just
weeks,
the
I started to
Mexican
get used to it.
food. Oh, just when I'm in America, I'm just indigested the whole time.
Yeah, I realized that too. That's why like I can't enjoy food as much as I. Oh, but we went to that. Our friend took us to that restaurant in LA.
Oh, where was
Oh
it?
man, what's that? It was the
Starts with
Oh, what was it? Was it
M.
Moroccan? No, it's
Mediterranean. Rest-
bovine. No,
Bavu?
it's the restaurant that's owned. The couple owns Bestia, the
Oh.
Italian one, which we're deciding. Hold on, I really want to recommend that place. Let me see. Bestia owners second restaurant. Bavel.
Bavel. Yes.
Yeah. Bavel.
It was kind of hipster, very lively, a little bit expensive restaurant.
Yeah.
But yeah, our friend was like really recommending it, and she did a reservation for us.
Yeah.
So we went in, and it was like, whoa, this is where all the LA people are hanging out.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it was like kind of open kitchen style, and like a lot of people, and like
The vibes are
the
so
vibe
good.
was great, and it's like sharing foods, and like I think we ordered so many like dishes to share, and
Yeah, that was good.
guys, guess who I saw that day?
Oh, that made his day, by the way.
Yeah, like there was this like table behind us, just bunch of like really well dressed black people, which like caught my eye. They don't look. I think they look kind of like they kind of had the celebrity vibes because like the hair was so fancy and like
They had this very fancy hat.
yeah, everyone was wearing hats. So I was like, I hope it's like an artist that I know or something. And then I looked over and I couldn't recognize anyone. But then like later into the night, I saw a lady like walking, and it was Wanda Sykes.
Ooh.
Wanda Sykes is like this black comedian, and I used to watch her stuff.
It was her birthday.
She has such a recognizable voice. But then it was her birthday. I looked at her face. I was like, that's Wanda Sykes. But I forgot her last name. I was like, Wanda something. And I was like, Googling it. And then I figured it out. And then kind of like a creeper, I went in. I was like, what's her Instagram tag? So I looked in there. And then like I was like, is it her? Is it her? And then she had a story. So I clicked on the story. And it said it was her birthday because she had just come back from a Netflix recording because they were like singing happy birthday like to her behind the scenes or something. And then someone was singing happy birthday there. So I was like, that is Wanda Sykes. So, but of course I didn't do the whole like, hi, can I get your picture with you?
Why
Like,
not?
no, you gotta respect their privacy. Like that's like they're enjoying their space. And,
It was yeah, I never saw you that excited about like
I
a
like
celebrity.
I like comedians.
Yeah, it was like your idol moment basically. Just like when I saw G-Dragon on the street.
Oh yeah.
I think it was your equivalent.
Yeah, I used to listen to her stuff. I listened to a lot of like a big wide variety of stand-up comedians when I was like in junior high and high school.
Yeah.
So I think I would really enjoy living in LA. Some aspects of it, especially like the culture and the arts, and like brings in so many high-profile names to like events. And
Yeah.
actually, one of the other things that we did was like my sister spoiled us with so many good baby gifts, and I really have to say like when I look at some people, definitely some people show their love through gifts, the act of giving gifts.
Yeah.
My sister definitely falls in that category when she like wants to express her love or like gratitude towards someone. She goes all in on gifts, and like
Yeah,
she just showered.
definite.
I think she gave us like a baby shower in of herself with the amount of gifts that like
Yeah.
she gave, and like kind of chingled us. So
I
thank
know.
you to my sister for sure. But one thing that we did want to buy was a baby stroller.
Oh, wow.
Man,
There's also another story behind it.
yeah. I'll start off, and you can take over whenever, Katie. So I asked my sister, like, what do you think? What kind of baby stroller would you recommend? And guys, if you ask my sister, like any product recommendation, she'll give you like 30 minutes. She's like ChatGPT before ChatGPT was a thing. Like, oh, trust me, like I've tried everything. Let me break it down. Like A, B, and C. But the thing is, you don't want to do exactly. That's how it is. So basically, she recommended this one brand that starts with N, and we're like, all right. Me and Katie have a much more relaxed attitude towards like buying products. We don't research for hours, or we don't like do all that. It's just
Yeah.
and so
Just like reasonably.
yeah. So I just went to Nordstrom's, and I was like, hey, like, can we just take a look at your strollers? And then it happened to be the same N brand that my sister
Yeah.
recommended.
And then the shopkeeper was also recommending that
Yeah,
brand.
so we're like, okay, so maybe we should go for this brand. And so I felt bad because we asked that lady so many questions.
Yeah.
Because we're so naive. We didn't even like read up any articles. Like I didn't know what the difference between a infant car seat and a convertible car seat was. And guys, if you don't know, you don't need to know now.
There's a whole new world behind it.
Yeah, I'll give you my sister's phone number. You guys can call, and she'll let you know. Yeah, but we looked up the price in Korea, and that brand was like literally selling for like double in Korea. So I think in the States it was around like 800, 900.
800.
And then in Korea it was going for at least like 150만 won, so about 1,500. So we're like, oh wow. Like,
So worth it getting here.
it's so worth it. This is my first time like buying something from the US and like thinking of bringing it into Korea. 'cause
Yeah.
we just don't buy this stuff. And so called all the places. They didn't have it. It's not sold on Amazon or any of this. And so we bought it, and there was like one place left with one stock available in the color that we wanted. So we got it. And then starts the event of trying to bring it to Korea. So the baby stroller, that thing is huge. The box is huge. But luckily, when we checked in from LAX to Seoul, we're like, man, has to go to oversized. We're going to have to pay like $200 since it's oversized. But then since I'm like, I think since because I'm morning calm, or I got mile
maybe.
membership.
Also, but I think also we got lucky too.
Yeah. He just let it slide. And so just checked in without having to pay over baggage fees. So we're like, yes, finally, we're good. Worked out. Now we land in Korea. It's around 5 p.m.
Super tired.
Super tired.
And then we have like 4 luggages to bring back home.
Yeah, we
don't have a car.
Yeah. And so the idea was that we would pick up that large stroller in the cardboard box. Of course, that has no wheels. You have to carry it or put it on the thing. And so there's like a place at Incheon Airport where you can mail any like luggage. And so I was like, perfect. We can just
do that.
Give it to the local courier, and they'll just mail it to our house from the airport.
Yeah.
We get there, and they're like, sorry, this thing is too big.
I still don't.
I don't get it.
I don't get it.
So then I was like, okay, then can you mail one of our other just regular luggage bags? And he was like, sorry, that one's too big too. I was like,
what's the point of this service?
What's the point of having a courier service at the airport, even if like even if our regular luggage pieces are too big? But I was too tired. I was too tired to like fight or like even ask that question. So we're like, all right. So then we're like, okay, what do we do? Because you have the airport cart, but you can't take that out of the airport. So we have we have 3 luggage plus that cardboard baby stroller in a box. So we total of 4. Katie's pregnant. Her belly's coming out. And even though I'm a climber, guys, I'm not Spider-Man. I can't bring all that.
Put it on your back.
Yeah, there's no way. So what do we do? So we're like, okay, we got it. Let's get on to the bus. because the bus will take us close enough to our house.
And that we can take it from there.
So we're like, answer solved. We got waiting for the bus. Then all of a sudden the bus driver comes up. He's like, those aren't all your luggages, right? I'm like, why would he say that? In my mind, I'm like, why would he start off with that? I just want to go home. And then I was like, why? And he's like, I was like, yeah. And he's like, I was like, why? He's like, oh, I'm sorry, the regulation changed. Only one luggage piece
per person.
Per person.
That's ridiculous.
That's ridiculous.
How do we go home? And then like we were so speechless, and then like even the person who was waiting in line behind us, the lady was like, she chimed in and she's like, then how are they gonna bring their luggage home?
I know that was great. Like like if you're having a discussion, all of a sudden some random head comes in and butts head. For the first time it worked to our benefit. The lady's like, I don't get it either. How are they gonna go home?
Yeah, what are you talking about? Don't you have to like adjust your regulation then?
Yeah, this is ridiculous.
Yeah.
And I was so thankful for that lady, because I think it like maybe he didn't want to hear any of that either.
Yeah.
So he's like, all right. You know what? We'll just let it slide.
Yeah.
So we put all 3 or 4.
But during that moment, at least, I was like panicking. And
I was like, okay, I don't know what we're gonna do.
How are we gonna go home?
I was like, we're gonna have to assemble this baby stroller in the airport, put one of the luggage bags on it, and then take it in the subway along with one. This is gonna
after like 13-hour flight.
We're gonna look like domestic terrorists, like carrying all that stuff through the subway system.
So, yeah, that day was exhausting.
Yeah, so we did in our way home with everything in hand.
Yeah, and luckily nothing broken. But the whole irony is that if you have a baby and then you have a stroller, then the airline will take care of the stroller. They won't even count that stroller as an extra luggage.
Yeah.
And then you can actually take that stroller all the way up to like the gate, and then they'll pack it up for you, and then like everything will be so easy. But because we don't have the baby yet, it's in the belly, so like they don't offer that stroller like service to you.
Yeah, it's like I read that in a forum, and they're like, yeah, you can't try to pass it off like, oh, my husband's in the restroom, but like all it takes is, oh, we'll wait for him. And then we come here, there's no baby.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't want to go through that now.
Yeah.
I think we'll be fine. So yes, y'all, we're all back in Korea now.
In one piece.
One piece. I mean, we had like tons of work, of course, and went through that the first few weeks we got back, and got back to our normal routine, and decided that we'll get back on the mic and try to keep you guys along with what we're up to, reconnect. We're already 1 hour into this. I mean, there's so many, like we didn't even cover Japan and like stuff from there that we wanted to talk about, but we can do it in the next episode.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I love Japan. I love like traveling and like traveling Japan, and this time we went to Tokyo, but
wait, are we already starting our next podcast?
No, this is a preview.
Give them 5 minutes of what you want to say, Katie.
No, I'm just saying that like I think the first country that we want to travel abroad once our baby is here will be Japan.
Definitely.
And also I want to explore different cities like outside Tokyo too.
Yeah.
Like
I want to take you to Kyoto.
Like Kyoto, Osaka, or Nagoya, all this.
Or maybe like Hokkaido and during the winter.
Yeah.
Sapporo.
And like we this time around we really realized we should make this more use of the fact that how close it is to travel to Japan from Korea.
Yeah. That's like
we kind of undervalued that for a long time.
Round trip to Japan from Korea is like 2 hours, right?
Round trip?
Or I'm sorry, just one way to Japan.
One way is like 2 hours.
We could go to Japan 6 times in the time it takes to go to America once, right?
Yeah.
That's what I mean. Like
this time around too, because I
want to go to Taiwan too.
Taiwan. Like have all the authentic food too. Taiwan is super close too. I think it's around like 3 hours or something from Korea. So I want to like try to take advantage of this proximity we have to all these like close countries.
Definitely want to travel with our kid a lot. Hopefully she is she'll be a good traveler. We'll see. But in my mind, I see ourselves traveling a lot, experiencing things together.
Yeah, hopefully she doesn't cry in the plane.
I'm sure she will, but I'll pretend to fall asleep.
Oh my gosh.
Katie, for the first time, I'm falling asleep. Take care of that crying baby.
Oh, yeah. Speaking of which, on our flight to America, we had 2 babies that were crying the whole
Oh my
time.
gosh, they were in unison.
Yeah, if one baby cries, the other baby cries.
Brutal.
But it doesn't bother me that much, honestly. Like the baby cries, but I think it bothers just a lot.
I actually find it comedic because like everyone has the same response where like they'll turn their head and they'll look at the parent like, can't you do something about it? And like no one, like
What
everyone.
can you do about it though?
I know, that's exactly why it's funny because because the crying goes up. Once the crying goes past a certain decibel, all heads spin and look, but no one will say anything. But the same reaction keeps coming, like, oh, can't you do? And the heads just keep swiveling. But yeah, I mean, it's just part of life, and
that's why you need to have those Bose headphones. It's a must-have when you get on a plane.
that's right. So neighbors, thanks for having a discussion with us. We'll be back soon. We'll talk about Japan, plus other stuff that are going on in Korea.
Plus, the cherry blossom season is ending as of today because it's raining now.
That's right. Plus, we have some names for our daughter. We'll see. By the way, naming babies is a lot harder than you think because when you have so many options and no constraints on options or no boundary conditions, just like endless number of things. So, yeah. But we've narrowed it down.
Yeah. So we have some finalists.
That's right. We just have to see who the winner is.
Yeah, I think so.
Alrighty, neighbors. Adios.
Adios. 아쉽지만 adios.
아쉽지만 adios.